everyone, Judy Gilnack here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Arizona. Have you seen the product medley in the January to June mini catalog? I would like to show it to you now. Seeing it up close and personal, it is a photopolymer set, and it has dies to go with it. I wanted to show you kind of a close-up of everything. So here's the dies that go with it. I call this one like the heart cactus, and it looks like a little bubble cactus to me. So I want to show you some samples with it too. So those are the dies, and that's the stamp set. And in this medley, you get the designer series paper right here. I'm going to show you that up close. Actually, let's close this so it's a little less confusing. This is some of the designer series paper, and the dies will actually cut out this heart-shaped cactus and this little bubble cactus over here. And then this is some of the other papers in it. Oh, and the other side of this is just gorgeous paper too. But I wanted to show you, I cut out all of the dies, so I have my little tray ready to go of my assembly of all the little cactus you could cut out, cacti, with some little Highland heather on it, some calypso, some beautiful flowers to go on it. And this is one of the little cactus if you use the die to cut out the cactus. So super cute. So that was with the designer series paper. You cut that right out of there. And then this is some of the designer series paper. Is this just pretty? You get 8 sheets of 6 by 6. This is so cute with the cactus on it too. And the saguaro on there too. This one brought in the colors of the calypso coral, the Highland heather, the mint macaron, pear pizzazz, and mossy meadow. And then here we have the calypso. And then on the other side of those, we have some pretty green patterns. Just pretty kind of cactusy looking colors. This one has a lot of the greens in it too. Highland heather, mossy meadow with some mint macaron in there. And this looks like cactus too. This would be cute with the cactus die cut out too. And then like I showed you, this is the ones you could cut out with the dies that come in the die set. You also get these little felt flowers. You can see I punched some out already. Like here's another little one. And these are best applied with glue up to the other side. So just glue that down on your project. I'll show you some of them. So you get 4 sheets of multiple flowers, and you get them in calypso coral and Highland heather. See all the little flowers in there? So you'll want to stick those with a glue dot. And you get a roll of calypso coral baker's twine, and kind of like our linen thread too. So those are all the supplies you get with this suite. Now let me show you some ideas with it. This first one, we've used some designer series paper, layered it on some mossy meadow. This is a calypso coral card. This is a layering circles die, and you'll see behind it we have the scallop dies to go around those. These are 2 of the felt flowers on there, and this one's stamped in mossy meadow. This is another one, a couple different pieces of designer series paper. This little die is actually cut. There's a die that cuts those little sparkly things out of there. I guess you kind of like spires from the cactus. And again, this is a cut right out of the pear pizzazz. This is out of the designer series paper. All these pieces are. Of course, she followed up with some beautiful calypso coral. Wendy designed several of these for me. This is another one. Again, there's that cactus on there and the little calypso coral flower. You are a rare find, my dear friend, with some of that designer series paper. This is another one with the cactus background on there. This is from the designer series paper. This was actually a die cut out of mossy meadow cardstock. Again, this is out of the designer series paper. This is out of the designer series paper too. And a happy birthday. This Classic label punch is going away as well. So if you like that, it's going to be retiring with our catalog, with the big annual catalog. Some more cactus. These are all cut out of the designer series paper. Top it off with some flowers, a little sponging with our, oh, what do you call our new sponge brushes? Blending brushes. And some little baker's twine on there. This one was with some of the designer series paper that was free during celebration. And it's run through the textured embossing folder. Again, we have some cutouts of some cactus, some flowers on there, some little embellishments. I love the sentiment. Life can get kind of prickly. True, right? And she did some awesome sponging on this too. This is a stitched rectangle. A couple of cactus on there. Look how cute this little die is when you cut it out. There's another one. I like to call this our book card. It's kind of it's a fun fold, if you will. And as you score this, you kind of get like the spine to the book, and then it opens like that. So it's a fun fold. And she did some cactus stamped on the inside. Those look like Christmas cactus, don't they? Some more on the outside. Framed it lovely with some baker's twine. This again was a designer series paper I showed you. A couple of felt flowers on there. This was out of the designer series paper. Again, my favorite punch and my favorite sentiment. Some calypso coral twine. This is another one with the designer series paper. This is cut out of Pear Pizzazz. Again, this is the designer series paper with some flowers. This is a retired sentiment, one-of-a-kind card for a one-of-a-kind person. Perfect, right? And then this was a special one that Wendy made. It is a fun fold card too. And so our cactus slides over to the side. This part opens. And there is the inside for you. There is a tutorial on this. I can't think of what you call it right now. And see, this is again with that classic label punch. And then our cactus just slides right back over there to close it. We'll kind of scooch it so you can't see that. And that's just the beginning. I have some more to show you. They give you the idea of the colors with the designer series paper, but I found that Pool Party went with it just as well. So then this is one of the designer series paper. I actually punched this out with the triple banner punch, which is also retiring. The stitched squares, the stitched shapes, which is stitched squares, ovals, and circles are retiring as well. So if you like the assortment of the stitch shapes, there's 4 of each size, you'll want to get those. Those are retiring too. Again, my favorite classic label punch. Some more of the felt flowers. Again, you'll put just a little dot of glue and just hold them in place for a second, and that's the best way to adhere them. And I like to follow through on the inside with some designer series paper. This is another one. This one I pulled the purples out, so it's a whole different kind of color palette. And I paired it with, I just went right with the designer series paper. So Mint Macaron and Highland Heather. And this is again the stitch shapes. This is the largest circle, stitch circle. For this one, I'm not sure if you could tell, but we have foam adhesive sheets. So the entire circle behind there is like a giant dimensional that's that big around. So the whole thing is adhered evenly to the card. I think that might be a better view. And my favorite tool, polka dot tool ribbon, it's also retiring. It's on sale too. Don't miss it. Here's another one of my purples to go with it. I put this one down here. This is from Mini Sentiments, I think it's called. I needed several sympathy prayer cards, so I thought it was very serene, kind of calming card too. Another one with the designer series paper. Again, this is the stitch shapes in the smaller size of the square, stitch square. Hope your birthday is filled with beautiful things. Happy looks good on you, with a little bit of the designer series paper carried to the inside. Another one, we have some banners. The triple banner punch again. My favorite textured background. And now I can't think of the name of it. My favorite punch. a little bit of Wink Stella. Did you spy the Wink Stella on there? And I thought it needed a little something up there, so I added 3 silver metallic pearls on there. Brought that paper to the inside. One more of our book folds. Wendy and I both made these. Hope your birthday is filled with beautiful things. These are cut out of cardstock. This is cut out of the Designer Series paper. A couple of felt flowers on there. And another one. I like just using as much of the Designer Series paper as I can. So this is a 1, 2, 3 patterns of the Designer Series paper. This is cut right out of there. So this is really the only stamping on there in a classic label punch. Finished it off with a double bow of the Calypso Coral. And this one's a fun fold. It's basically a little card that I made. It's like a little card that fits right on the front of there. So it's basically a 1/4 sheet of cardstock with my little card right on the front of there. Just for something cool. Hope your birthday is filled with beautiful things. And then this is another fun fold. I scored, this is just like a regular 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then so then I scored it at 2 1/8. So basically, if you just fold the front part back on itself, that's how you'll get that fold. If you want to score it, it's 2 1/8 and then 4 1/4. And then this panel on the front, again with our stitch shapes that are going away, retiring. This is out of the Designer Series paper. I put the linen thread over this panel right here. And you could either put a 1/4 sheet of white behind this and write on it. I wanted my writing not to exceed this space right here. So I put this white piece right here. I put glue on this side and stuck it down so that this is exactly where I want it to be. So I'll know where I'm writing out this card. This is one of our little spike things from the little cactus there too. Anyway, I have many, many ideas for this. I wanted to show you the product medley itself. We are going to be making 2 of these cactus cards in class. I haven't decided which 2 they're going to be, but I wanted to share them all with you and give you even more ideas for this suite. So I hope you go take a look at it. It's the Flowering Cactus Product Medley, and it's on page 8 and 9 out of our mini catalog. Hope you enjoyed my card parade, and I gave you plenty of ideas for today. Thanks so much for joining me.